Hola, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien, ¿y tú? Okay, so something has gotta change. This lighting, though. I'm way better than this. Way better. Like this, though? Is that better or is that too bright? I feel like it's probably okay. So let me just adjust this before I welcome you guys. There's so many like odds and ends. I just want to make sure that everything goes to plan, at least as well as it could, you know? Okay, awesome. So the eyebrows are on fleek. I hope you guys are not too mad that I will not be looking into the camera down here on Insta. But welcome to the Finally Free from Shyness, Get Out of Your Own Way challenge. And if this quality doesn't really work for you that well, you can, you are more than welcome to opt into the Facebook group. And we're going to get started in a bit on the Facebook group. I just want to make sure everything is good to go. So tell me about you guys. Fill me in on life. How is everything going? What time zone are you in? I really am excited. I'm so excited to be here with you all. Good afternoon. Where I'm at, I'm not sure if it's the morning or the evening, so let me know what time zone that you're tuning in from. Welcome to the Get Out of Your Own Way challenge. This is day 1. So we are officially kicking things off, and I am intending to actually give you guys a workbook for this challenge. So nobody has it yet because I didn't send it out yet. Hey, Christine. So just let me know if you weren't able, if you didn't get that from me yet. I'm going to be sending it out. So if you can hear me, make sure you let me know. So exciting. And the challenge is going to encompass self-love, but in a different way than you've experienced self-love in the past. So I'm sure you've heard the term tough love. And lately, I've been giving and I've been getting a lot of self-love. So, like, this isn't just the self-love that I'm going to sit here and just rah, you can do it for 3 days, because, like, that would be not much of a challenge, right? So today's challenge and this week's challenge for the next 3 days, we're gonna work on developing that unshakable self-love, the filling your own cup, because we're gonna go through the things that help us to understand that our cup doesn't automatically magically get filled. Self-love needs to be an intentional part of our week. I would argue an intentional part of our day. And as I talk about in my upcoming book, The Epitome of Self-Love, that self-love actually, the effects, it's like the butterfly effect, and pouring into your own cup is actually going to positively affect all of your relationships, your career. It's going to affect your health, because when we decide something as powerful as this, we are asking actually for clarity, and we're asking for divine guidance. So I think I love when the lights do that in accordance with I feel like yeah, that was awesome. Um, so loving yourself and pouring into your own cup more, proves to the universe that you're ready for the next level. And by doing so, you're asking for clarity and you're asking for the universe to show you some next steps. So, when it comes to self love, we're going to use the 3 days to go through the 3 topics that are going to allow us to finally get out of our own way. And when I say get out of our own way, I mean to stop the mental chatter, especially as women, especially as females. Um, I know we tend to overthink things, we tend to be over emotional about things, about situations, about drama in our life. So, we're going to be able to decide what's important today. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about asking, the magic word ask, which I know for a fact that a lot of women struggle with. Out of the 3 people in my household, at least 2 of them struggle with that. And I'm really curious as to what it's like with the women in your household. Do they tend to be more bold and ask for the things that they want and they need? Or a lot of times, do you notice that women just like to um, take on a lot of responsibilities and duties and just manage to do them without asking? Like, and the last day, we're going to go back. We're going to talk about releasing and receiving because there's actually what's called receiving mode, and we can have all of the desires in the universe, but if we're not able to tune into actually the energy of receiving them, we're going to constantly be feeling a certain type of way. We're going to feel like we're not worthy because we're not receiving them, and we're not receiving them because we're not actually aligning our hearts and our minds and our souls with that which we desire. And we'll talk about more on the 3rd day. Um, I'm really excited. I have a meditation prepared for you all for this week. Um, and going to be dropping other super exciting things for you guys. So, a little introduction for those of you who don't know me and who are joining us for the first time today. So, I'm Lizzie Kester. I'm a women's self love and relationships coach. I help women with poor self esteem and shyness to have thriving relationships with themselves and others. I'm a heart led entrepreneur, and everything that you are going to be learning from me from here on out comes from my heart, because I believe that we're souls with a body. We're not bodies with a soul. So there's that. And I believe, as I mentioned earlier, that the more that we love ourselves and pour into our own cups, the more that we are able to attune to the things that we desire and to become and to be the woman that we desire. I talk a lot about full circle moments. I really started to recognize these moments when I started getting into my spiritual journey. And for me, a full circle moment is a realization that I have throughout my day. It's a day-to-day thing that happens when, if you believe in karma, it kind of goes along. Sorry, it kind of goes along with the idea of like karma, but karma as you know, can extend to past lives, but a full circle moment is just within this life that we're experiencing here and now. A full circle moment would be like, for example, the last Christmas season, I ended up at my family's parish with them for mass for the evening, and the one of the men who was helping with the various aspects of the mass, I was sitting on the end of the pew, and he picked me out to bring up the church gifts, and I was on the right pew, and then he asked the person on the left pew, who was also sitting on the outside, to bring up the gifts as it's called, and the other person to bring up the gifts alongside me was my 3rd grade crush. He was like my crush from 3rd grade to 6th grade, right? And it was a full circle moment for me because I was feeling like my best, and he was with this other girl, which at this point, I couldn't care less who he's with. Um, but to me, that was like a full circle moment because all of the inner work that I've been doing and that I'm sharing with you guys has a lot to do with just my self-worth, and believing that I'm worthwhile and I'm worthy of more. Um, so that was like a blast from the past full circle moment. If that makes sense, definitely let me know below by using hashtag makes sense. Again, let me know what time zone that you're in, so that we can have a chat in your desired time zone. Um, so we talked about self-love being a catalyst for your desires. If you haven't seen my femininity and self-love webinar, or I should say love cast that I did with my friend, her Instagram is at hanging out with love. You can check out that love cast. She is a women's dating coach. And we talked about all things self-love and femininity, my two favorite topics, honestly, nowadays. Got my matcha tea going. Throughout this week, we're also going to recognize your true inner guidance system, which you have 2 choices. Your inner guidance system is either your heart or your mind. I already gave you pretty much the hint as to what I teach as the true inner guidance system. But embracing what we're going to go through for the next 3 days is going to allow us to feel that we're always on the right path to our desires. We're going to actually be able to determine those desires. If you're somebody who is stuck in comparison mode, who is just stuck in general, and you're just surviving. This training will actually help you to turn that around into thriving. You'll be able to recalibrate yourself to finally feel free to pursue what really makes you happy. And you'll also learn the framework that I've developed through my experiences to feel into the best possible decision. So, welcome to day 1 of the Get Out of Your Own Way challenge. And I want to mention and elaborate on that gap which I mentioned just a moment ago about recognizing our desires. And the gap can arise oftentimes, um, seeing and feeling and being where we are, and not really knowing the next steps. And that's what feeling stuck means, right? So I believe when women are turned off and not tied into their desires and their passions, um, then it creates a gap in our life because we're human beings and we see people around us and they may be full of passion and full of desires and full of we don't know what. But to be able to really move forward is to move forward and be happy at the same time, right? Because what's the point in self-development if not to be happy? And expansion, of course. But when we can still be happy on the way to our expansion. So if there's like pre-work to be done for this training, that would definitely be to just dedicate time throughout the next 3 days to just thinking about and meditating on what makes you like what truly makes you happy and start there. And then if you're experiencing this gap in where you are, how you are going to move forward, once we're meditating and once we're focusing our mindset on that which makes us happy, we can more easily declare what it is that we actually desire and what it is that we actually want. The thing about deciding for ourselves is that we're taught the opposite of that from the moment essentially that we're conceived. At least for me in the family that I was raised in, I can tell you right now that was the moment when I was conceived that I already had a religion, I already had a race. Thankfully, and just for my own ego's sake, I was given a beautiful full name, Elizabeth G. Kester, and I love that part so much. And I am so, so grateful for the household in which I was raised because, if it wasn't for them, I don't think I would be sitting here in front of you with all of this insight on intimate relationships. I'm not sure if that would have came about at such an early part of my life. So when we make our own decisions, we are able for once to finally free ourselves from the grip of society's demands and actually, as I like to say, be the simplest you. So we're going to peel back layers today and the next 2 days together. And I want to jump right into my 3-step feel, sit, know framework. And let me actually be able to read this to you guys. This is my most popular blog post, actually. So I'm really excited to be referencing this here with you all. Because again, I'm going to mention that gap that exists between where we are and where we want to be. And I found it actually allowed me to not feel like I have to make a decision and I have to change at the same time. Because, just to elaborate on that a little bit and why that can be so groundbreaking for somebody to realize is because change can be scary all on its own. On my personal page today, I made this beautiful post about overcoming challenges and for me, overcoming shyness. And I referenced what business coach, mindfulness strategist, Christina Chabrier once said to me on an assassin shadow coaching call, just to admit that part of our life is effed up. right? So if you wanna go balls to the wall, or should I say labia to the wall, and really level up, like you're done with all of the BS and you're on like a fast track to the new you, then blessed be, right? But a lot of times, um, we experience these other emotions and these other mental programs that we need to just relax through them. And I'm gonna explain exactly what I mean by relax through them when I talk about my three-step framework. So is there somebody in life that you envy? Do they seemingly have life all figured out? Recently, within my divine partnership, I've felt so. Here's why. My partner's eldest daughter happens to be right around my age. She graduated from a state accredited college with a degree in nursing and does what she loves. She lives in a newly renovated apartment with all the fixings and updates luxuries as she pleases. The hoisted rope from her new job, offering plenty of slack to do so. Certainly, I'm aware hers or my own happiness doesn't occur because of the material objects. Yet each time I encountered her, my feelings of lack ensue. These feelings always steal the front row seat in my consciousness, prompting a reclusive response from my psyche. I disappear for a little in an attempt to process exactly what I feel. You ever get that disappearing act? Happens all the time. My previous unexplainable emotional experiences, coupled with my education on emotional intelligence, prepared me to sit with these feelings without judgment, i.e., incessant questioning why. And inside my heart, I knew that relief would come. Through this feeling, sitting, knowing process, here's what I learned. Our soul doesn't always require answers, our egos do. My sheepish ego couldn't accept the fact that his daughter reached these landmarks before me. I'll let you in on a secret. Despite utilizing the improvement hack above, feel sit no, I still had no way of knowing how often and how intensely the envy would surface. Meaning my partner and I's relationship flourishes more day by day, and his children hold important space in his and consequently my life. She and her husband live close by us, and unless they're going on a fancy trip somewhere, won't be leaving anytime soon. I had to sit, know my way through this realization too. I felt unsure of myself because my ego needs to have all of the answers. I had to slow these thoughts and find my stability in the present, aka sit, while knowing the relief is on its way. And that was actually written a year ago tomorrow. That is some divine guidance if I ever heard it. So I want to encourage you to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Get comfortable with your feelings. Um, a thing that sounds obvious but totally isn't. So here's what happens, usually an unpleasant feeling arises. Your mind launches into whatever inner story accompanies this feeling. I'm unlovable, I'm a loser, I resent my face, just as examples. So you need to stop because you're thinking your feelings here. You can actually redirect your mind away from these thoughts into the sensations in your body. This is where feeling your feelings comes in, and you can actually mentally name these feelings. My chest is tight, my jaw is clenched. That's a feeling, right? Breathe in, that's would be a sensation, sorry. So actually just the next step, breathe into the feeling or the sensation and allow it. Allow it, sit with it, as I've said. Your mind will really want to go back into the thought story mode. When this happens, redirect your awareness back into your body. Feel, sit. And the last one, no. Take deep breaths. Keep feeling into your body. Let the feeling exist and trust that it will leave. Observe it changing, watch it move. Notice that you have survived and you're on your way to thriving. So, any questions about that framework? You guys know where to find me. And today's homework, actually, I want you to decide what's one small action for me today that will bring me a feel of ease and flow tomorrow. When I make decisions, 99% of the time when I make decisions, it's based off of, will this benefit my future self? So, one small decision that you can do or make today, it has to be small and you must take action, must be able to take action on the thing as soon as you think about it. This may be as simple as plugging in your phone, charging your phone before you take a nap, because you're saying, wow, the desire here would be to have my phone charged. And I'm thinking about my future self and I'm thinking about more easiness and flow. So taking 5 seconds, 6 seconds now to actually plug my phone in before I nap, that benefits your future self. That's just one example. There's infinite amounts of possibilities here. So when I ask you guys, what is that one thing that you did that was small, that was explicitly for the benefit of your future self? There's no excuse not to do this. And if you're looking for extra credit, establish your core values if you haven't. Don't think about this one too much. Just decide what values represent you and who you want to be. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the same time for day 2. I'm excited. I'm so excited to be here with you all. Good afternoon. Oh. Where I'm at, I'm not sure if